My name is Maxine Samone, and welcome to the Void. We're going to get into a timeless message. Um, I don't really have any downloads. I just had a bit of time, a little extra time. My phone is dying pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. So this is going to be a relatively quick one. I always say that, but then it ends up being like 40 minutes. But I kind of I feel like that's a part of the message. Time constraints, talking about Saturn, talking about I said I kind of like it. There's something about being routine, something about being able to come into, yes, your true life path. We have creative intelligence. It was kind of in the reverse, but it's like these two things are facing off. Life path looks very grounded, you know, while creative intelligence obviously is more connected to the sacral, the solar plexus, like a lot of sun energy. Grounding into being seen is what's coming through, even the facing off, like holding your stance, holding your position while people are observing you is coming through. Um, Not letting that affect you because you have some kind of routine about it that keeps you grounded, that allows these like ideas to come through. I feel like at one point in your life you felt like you had to have one or the other, you know? Um, but I think that through you coming into more compassion for yourself, forgiving yourself, I think, for times that you may have self-sabotaged, even developing routines, um, that would have kept you grounded and safe in your body. I think that you're coming into coming into that, which allows you to feel more expansive, actually. What you thought was going to be restrictive, like that Saturn energy, actually turns out to be your stabilizing force and how you're able to move forward um, in a particular direction. My throat is closing up. But it's like through consistency, through showing yourself that you can be consistent with yourself. Um, it's like nobody can shake you because your foundation is stable, you know? Can you make it up? Six house routine. And then we have part of fortune increase. Yeah. So like this is giving a lot of earth energy, obviously. Six houses like the house of the body. Um, you may be improving like how you take care of your body. Saturn. Like you can't even make it up. But yes, now we have 4, 5, and 6. And then we have six house routine is the number 30, but it simplifies to a 3. So we have 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's like following some steps. I feel like you may have been someone, I have 5 here, that likes change. You want to consistently. Oh, that was coming through earlier today too, because I went to the gym this morning. If you're getting into like being consistent with your routines, you may have in the past been someone that like you wanted to change things up, but it kind of reflected a little bit of like chaotic energy. It would make it difficult to stick to a plan and ground things in. Now I feel like you may have become a little bit more routine about something and there's some spontaneity that needs to come through. Like how you change up your workout routine and it'll like change up, you know, um, it'll hit different muscle groups type of thing. That's kind of what's coming through. And it's like it's still a part of the plan to experience just a little bit of spontaneity or a little bit of a change that will help work different parts of the body, to help you reach your goals. Yes, Neptune, sacrifice. Spirit wants to make a way for something to come in. So it's a balance of knowing like when to just stick to the plan and the routine and then knowing when to step outside of that, to listen to the guidance. And I feel like specifically you'll just feel like a nudge to go do something like that'll make you feel really good, or like if you don't usually go to the park or something and you decide to go to the park, something spontaneous may happen. I feel like there's a lot of nature though, something with flowers, wildflowers, like a field or something like that, like getting out in nature. And there's something spontaneous that may happen. We have the angel of ruin. this one. The angel of storms. Man, that's a lot. Ruin and storms. Um, and then the emanation of empathy. Interesting. Ruin, storms, and empathy. And then Aries. What's coming through is that if you are building something or you feel called to build something, like you're going to be leading people out of their destructive tendencies. You may be some kind of like transformational coach or life coach or something like that, where you've bumped up against a lot of your own self sabotaging behaviors. And you're going to be helping them. Yes, the angel of undoing and the angel of knowledge. You're going to be teaching how to overcome a certain challenge. Um, so it feels like you have to kind of get through this yourself to be able to embody that wisdom. Specifically by taking action, by taking a spontaneous action. Yeah, angel of Taurus in the reverse, telling me like not being so routine, not being so like knowing what routines will create the environment for that spontaneity to come through. How to listen to your intuition. And then we have Angel of the Deep in the reverse. I have one more. And then Angel of Emptiness. There's something coming through about this is feeling deeper than I feel like I have the time to explain. But even the moments that you are not participating actively in maybe your spiritual routines or something like that, like you may cling to those to make yourself feel again like you've adopted some kind of routine to make you feel safe, but also to help like with you've graduated through breaking those bad habits of like self-sabotage, right? And so I think that there's a little bit of fear coming through about not wanting to self-sabotage if you feel the need to like go do something a little bit like more spontaneous, You don't want it to lead to self-sabotaging behavior. Spirit is saying that even in the moments that you are being spontaneous, you are still spiritual. Like even in the moments that you're being human, you're still spiritual. Like you're still on the path. And you need those moments to invite something new in. What is the current energy that the collective is in right now? Current energy. The heart. It kind of came out in the reverse though. I mean, it is in the reverse, the heart. If you're feeling kind of like I said, it's kind of like giving stuck energy, but there's stability there. I feel like a new connection is trying to come through. Actually, that's kind of coming through too. Yeah, you're going to be meeting somebody. That's why those two cards are facing off like that. Interesting. This might be a friend group. We're going to get into the tarot as much as I can while, I'm here. But your heart is a bit closed off and you're kind of like being routine. Yeah, the shapeshifter. You are shedding an old blueprint when it comes to relationships and how you used to connect with people because you've grounded in and connected with yourself. So you're a different version of yourself. What is spirit trying to bring in? We have this self, but in the reverse, it came out in the reverse. So you undid yourself so that you could rebuild yourself, and you're in that rebuilding. We have the ring and the animal now, and these both came up outright. A commitment to being free. And so while you've been in the consistent, like you've built up certain habits to build yourself up consistently since then, and you've kind of gotten into your leadership in that way, like you're very independent. It feels like spirit is saying there's a new relationship template it begins and ends with yourself, but it feels like you're inviting in a new relationship template, or spirit is trying to bring in a new relationship template that allows the heart to be free and allows you to be more free. So you don't have to be so monotonous in an effort to keep yourself safe. Yeah, we have the Starborn and then Agape, which is about alignment, something to be born out of alignment. Or this is the new version of you to be born out of alignment, out of this storm. We have the Maiden. If it's not another person coming into your life, this is a face off between you yourself, like two different aspects of yourself, where one is feeling very grounded and one is very like free flowing and creative. And so you're learning how to marry both sides. You may also see this reflected outside of you by like people that you come into contact with, that may have this balance achieved, or they notice an aspect of you that um or they reflect back an aspect of you that you aren't familiar with. Was coming through when I was in the gym last night. Um, there was this like guy that was in the sauna, and he was just super friendly, asking me how I've been since I've moved to the area and all these things. And he was talking about how him and his wife, they had been in the area since like 2009, very grounded, consistent. They'd raised their kids in the same house, that they like to get out and go to the symphony sometimes. It's like very different type of person that I feel like would normally just like come up to me and start talking to me. But I enjoyed his conversation. I remember being grateful for that interaction. Um, yeah, Nine of Cups, and then we have the Page of Cups. We have one more cup. That's what I'm saying. You worked hard to get to this point, the Nine of Cups. It feels like there's a journey to get to the Nine of Cups. You have to the Nine of Cups comes after the Eight of Cups, after you walked away from a lot of things. It feels like, and that's why your heart space may be a bit closed, or you're shape shifting after maybe experiencing what you felt like was losses, but really it was these were things that were getting in the way of your consistency and your ability to rebuild yourself or reinvent yourself. Um, but now there's like one cup that's coming in that's going to give you a 10 of cups. And I think with it being in the page position, the one cup, it's something so light, spontaneous, like I said, and just fun. It's like a little nudge to go somewhere, do something, out of the ordinary, that is going to show you that it's okay, or that it's safe for you to do that again. Yes, after the 10 of swords, that's what I'm saying, after feeling like, I think that you've had associated hi. I think you've had associated with the 10 of swords, like that your spontaneity, the Page of Wands is literally the card of spontaneity. I think that you may have associated that with getting yourself in trouble. So again, things had to be integrated with the Justice card. Things had to be balanced. You have to balance both, and not blame that aspect of you for, again, the free spirited part of you, or the youthful part of you, the maiden, or your naivety, your willingness to try things new, and to be kind of like in a full energy, like a newness, blaming that for like all of your hardships. That's not fair, to that part of you. Yeah, the 7 of Wands in the challenge position, the 8 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Wands. Like, this is telling me that there's a lot of seriousness, or that you almost like view your life as very serious at the moment, or like very. The Aries card came out. We had the Mars, I think, was somewhere over here, or I had shuffled and saw it. It's very warrior like, and the spirit is saying that life isn't all about like the healing work, the healing work, the healing work. Like that's what we were saying earlier. Like, you can be human and still be on your spiritual path. You can have fun and still be on your spiritual path. You can, Because at the end of the day, if you're not, you're sacrificing, like, this time is still passing, and that's why I feel like that Saturn energy is here. I think that, both Saturn and Neptune are both in Pisces right now too, so it's like, there's something there with that, with, like, becoming routine about certain things. Those things needed to be integrated, but now it's, like, retrograding back into that, so it's like, you may feel it's just asking you, have you integrated those parts? Can you do both? Can you hold both? Can you still do your routines and allow yourself to have a little bit more fun, I guess? Yeah, because the moon where's the moon hiding? That's a Pisces card again, and then we have the 8 of Wands. Oh, there's, like, messages that come by night, or this is kind of like giving movement by night or movement from your subconscious, but I also feel like messages that come by night is, like, there's movement at night, maybe getting, like, a nightlife, like, going back out into the nightlife. We have the 5 of Wands in reverse, and the 10 of Cups and the 8 of Swords, yes. I think Spirit is inviting you to have fun. Maybe you need to get a sitter or something. I know I could use one. Maybe you need a babysitter. Maybe you need to have a night out. Maybe you need to have, like, do something fun. The Magician and the Fool and the Ace of Wands. The Fool and the Ace of Wands are facing off on one another because, like I said, you need to have, like, a fool like attitude where there's spontaneity. And knowing that you're not taking yourself off your path, or that you should feel bad about allowing yourself to go do human things, it's stopping you from actually, I feel like, your new beginning, because the Ace of Wands, there's, like, some, again, like, the spontaneity leads to something. Spirit wants something to come through, or, like I said, I feel like, and then we have the Two of Swords as a block, a mental block around. And then we have the King of Swords. That's what I'm saying. You have a very it's, like, very serious, or, like, like, you take yourself too seriously right now. Um, and the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups. You don't see it, but there's going to be another person that comes in and offers you something. It could be a creative idea. It could be a new idea that, like, sparks a creative pursuit. Or it could be, like, a little crush or something that ignites something. Five of Pentacles, the Devil, and the Chariot in reverse. And the Strength in reverse. Oh. By not allowing yourself to have fun, you also perpetuate the story that, you get to perpetuate whatever story you're telling yourself around, why you need to be so serious about feeling left out, or, like, again, the betrayal stories, because you don't get to rewrite the story. You don't get to, like, meet new people and have fun again. You're just, like, that's the story that you get to hold on to. It's like, oh, like, I'm so afraid of that happening again, that you perpetuate it because you don't even allow yourself to have new experiences. So it could show up as staying around the same people that perpetuate the same experiences, or, not allowing yourself to move forward. The ego is showing up as a block, or not allowing yourself to even, like, tap into that childlike curiosity again around meeting people. We have the Hangman and the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant. The Five of Cups in reverse. Spirit is saying that they can't do anything for you if you don't do anything. If you don't make room, if you don't make space, if you don't try, then nothing new can come in. You kind of keep yourself strung up perpetually, um, by not allowing yourself to be seen or be experienced by new people, by judging yourself for wanting to be, if you have a desire to, like, meet new people, there's, like, this hidden fear, or maybe I'm not getting judgment out here, but then it's like, I feel like it's something tied to you and how you identify with, like, your spirituality. Like, it's, like, almost like being, like, above the human experience, but you're not above the human experience because you're still here in the human experience. And then it's like feeling left out of the human experience, like, I'm not getting the connections that I want or the depth that I want, but then you don't allow yourself to meet new people, you know? So then we have 9 of Pentacles in reverse, and then you feel deprived. You feel like, I'm not getting what I want. Or it creates like these codependent dynamics, where like you feel like again, it's like wanting something so bad, but then you're not allowing yourself to go and actually experience it. It caused like distress. We have the Four of Swords in reverse and the Empress in reverse is because you're not willing to receive that. Like, you're not making room for that. You're not making room for those experiences because there's something so rigid about how you identify with, I think the spiritual path is really what's coming through, and like how serious that makes you take your life. Yes, unrest. It makes you take your life too seriously. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles in reverse are saying that is a reflection of scarcity. Um, like, and they're asking you to kind of like loosen the grips of something. The Seven of Pentacles, the World. I was literally thinking like the like it's like wanting to meet somebody, but you just stay in the house, you know? It's like, oh, like where's my crops? Where's my harvest? Where are my people? But then Spirit is saying literally the next card was the World. That's why I laughed because it's like you have to go outside. I feel like we said this before. We have to go outside. Four of Cups in reverse is telling me that they've been telling you that that's available to you. I think it's because it could be showing up with the ego, with how the mind works and like causes blocks. There's not room for nuance. There's not room for like middle ground or like balance, It's like if I start doing that, then my whole life is going to go to shit, because it did in the past. But did you have as much balance or maybe even the same level of consciousness as, back then? No, Um or, vice versa. It's like you're going on one extreme or the other and you identify with having bad experiences. That's what makes up the story that you tell yourself. So then you don't allow yourself to go out and meet people. Yes, caught in the extremes. Literally, we have the Three of Cups. I knew it was going to come out. There are people that want to hang out with you. There are people that want to meet you. There are people the Ace of Cups that want to love you. And this is literally, the Four of Cups was the last card. These are Four Cups. Spirit is saying, we've been giving you this opportunity to go connect with people. You are not wanting to see that for whatever reason. Um, yeah, the Six of Cups move. Oh, because of the past. I mean, we've been saying because of the past, but it's like stuck on people that did not work. Three of Pentacles in reverse, Six of Cups in reverse. Stuck in the past, you know? Stuck on things that didn't work out, and it's like so then you just stay in the shadows, the High Priestess. You have the ability to shift timelines, but even in doing that, you can't get stuck in one, like, it's your job to also make sure you don't get stuck in a past timeline. The Page of Cups in reverse by not, like, transitioning and knowing when it's time. Because remember, we started with the Nine of Cups. It takes a lot of you go through a lot of emotional stages to get to the Nine of Cups. It comes right after the Eight, where you walk away from things that you do feel emotionally tied to. But there's an offering of another cup. Your wish is fulfilled on the other side of that if you're willing to leave. I also just learned today that Eight of Cups is a card that identifies with the last decan of Pisces, which means that it's a higher understanding, I guess, of Pisces energy, where it's like, it's not that I don't care, but I'm not going to prioritize my love for you over my love for myself. So I'll leave if it's not giving. You know what I'm saying? And because I know, because I'm aligned with the abundance of the universe and the abundance of love in the universe, that even though I have love for you, I'm not going to stop myself from receiving love where I know that I can, you know? So there's this offering that Spirit is saying, like, yes, you have been closing out other timelines and things like that with other people or past people, or you've been grieving. We started with the 10 of swords over here. Like you felt betrayals, all these things, but you can't identify with those stories because it will keep you stuck in a past timeline. The 7 of swords in reversed. This is like revealing some kind of illusion that you have around, I guess, prioritizing, allowing yourself to be seen, prioritizing, allowing yourself to be recognized, like, out in public. It's getting, like, out in public, with the death in reverse. We are kind of talking about that, like, you having the capacity to hold multiple things, allowing yourself to be perceived. These cards just fell, and we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse that wanted to show itself. But your ability to connect with more abundance and to build upon what you built for yourself depends on your ability to be seen and to connect with other people. If you have a block around this, you're going to feel like you're left out of like the human experience, because the human experience includes community and connecting with other people. If you're perpetuating this story, you're going to keep connecting with people that reflect that back to you. If you start to allow yourself to be open to that and be seen, then, then we move into the 6 of Pentacles, where it's like there's equal reciprocity. There's something that you have to give to other people, but you're not allowing yourself to be seen or experienced. The Tower, the Page of Pentacles in reverse, the 5 of Swords. I don't like that. If this is your energy, collective, it's like it is giving very stingy, 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 stingy with the energy, which is, I mean, I understand where it comes from, because you have felt like you've given before and you haven't been reciprocated. But now it's like you're literally like so on guard, like I said, so serious about, you've embodied stinginess now, where you have now become that person that you have been hurt by in the past, that you felt like didn't give to you because they were in fear energy or in stinginess energy. And it's like this 5 of Swords is telling me that's a petty battle, that this is something that you have embodied out of fear. And now this is kind of how it goes, though, right? We embody both sides so that we can understand. And that's why we had the angel of empathy come out here after ruin and storm. You now are on the other side, and you know what kind of feels like to have your heart closed and to be kind of stingy with your energy. It's not that great of a feeling either, you know? While you may have felt like the naive part of you got you into so much trouble because you were just openly giving and giving and giving, now you've become this stingier version, and that's not giving either. You know what I'm saying? On the bottom of the deck, we have 10 of Pentacles. It takes two to participate in social things. You know what I'm saying? To give and receive love, to give and receive love, the lovers. It takes two to have that interaction, and both parties have to be willing to actually give up themselves. And if you're in dynamics that you don't feel safe enough to do that, then you need to remove yourself from that dynamic, because the heart is not open. And then you're going to start to embody that. Like, actually, that's going to be like how you carry yourself around even other people, even, like I said, strangers or whatever at the gym that you may connect with, whatever, wherever you're at, you become controlling. The Emperor in reverse. Not the Emperor upright. The Emperor in reverse. So I don't know exactly how this may look in your walking life. We have the Nine of Cups again. We cut the deck to that. You are very much in control of your experience, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not. How you're moving right now, you are getting exactly what you want. That's the thing. That's the affirmation that I feel like you need to bring to the forefront of your mind. You're getting exactly what you want. So you need to get clear on what it is that you're actually asking for by entertaining whatever dynamics, or not entertaining anything, because you're creating it. So there's offerings on the table. This is about to die. There's offerings on the table for you to connect with other people. Are you allowing yourself to do that? I'm going to save this right here because I don't want to lose it. But if you're interested in a personal reading, just look wherever this is posted, where the links go, and I'm sure you'll find what you need.